This episode of The Republic is brought to you by Shutterstock.com with over 28 million high-quality stock photos, illustrations, vectors, and video clips. Shutterstock helps you take your creative projects to the next level. For 25% off your new account, go to Shutterstock.com and use offer code GAMEBREAKER9.
Game Breaker TV.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to The Republic, episode 153 for September 3rd, 2013. Coming up on today's show, we've got the super secret space project, condescending attitudes, and much more. But first, joining us from SWTOR.com is Mr. Larry Everett. How are you, sir?
I'm good. The cleavage today. What? I thought it was National Cleavage Day.
Is it?
I don't know. It is now.
I'm not wearing a V-neck.
Just made it up.
Just made it up. And joining us, as always,
you can undo a couple buttons.
Is Laura Williams. How are you, Laura?
Hey, guys. So I found something today that I think every Star Wars fan should have in their house. And that is the Star Wars cookbook.
Wookiee cookies.
Wookiee cookies, yes. And you can have other great recipes like, let's see, Obi-Wan kebabs. Yum.
Obi-Wan kebabs. I don't think I want Obi-Wan's kebab.
Yoda soda.
Oh, Yoda
Yum.
soda.
Yeah. That is a must-have in any Star Wars fan collection.
Do they really have to go with Obi-Wan's kebab? Is that really they had to go there? All right, so we finally got a first look at the super secret space project revealed in a teaser video.
And you see, it's not on rails. Totally not on rails.
Totally not on rails. So I would play it, but I won't. It's actually behind me playing. Yeah, it looks like a bad Betamax video, but it's there. It's actually a real thing. So it's actually a real thing. Can you believe? Do you believe? It's a thing.
It's a thing.
I don't know what of a thing it is. So there's not even like a minute of footage, and
Yeah.
which I'm okay with that. But could somebody really?
Yeah.
Is there? Do we understand the significance of all the scan lines and why it looks like a bad beat up VHS tape?
It's supposed to be like a holo video. I mean, that's where the holograms kind of look in the game. Look kind of like that. And so I guess it's supposed to be like smuggled footage or something.
I thought maybe it was from a ship that blew up. Like,
Possible.
This is recovered data log type of thing.
I mean, is this the
It was
confirmation?
really
Is this it? Super secret space project, freeform.
That's it.
Freeform. Well, we don't really know.
So,
You can't really.
according to Reddit, and of course, you know, anything on Reddit has to be
It's
true.
obviously true.
It's definitely
obviously true. So somebody data mined something on Reddit saying that they've been sitting on space stuff for a while, that there is definitely going to be free flight, so no more rails. There's going to be a choice of fighter planes, labeled heavy, medium, and light. They said maybe a few more for PvE, including a bomber. Each fighter or bomber has different characteristics and damage capabilities, and there may be a PvE aspect. There's definitely a PvP aspect. So, shooting people in space.
Shooting people in space.
Yeah, the data mining information that I've seen supports the heavy, medium, and large. I did not see the bomber thing of it. I don't know, and I did see that there were different fighters, but I didn't necessarily know if they were related to the player. I mean, it's possible. But yeah, and I did see that it was PvP oriented. I did not see anything about freeform.
It's hard to tell from the video. If you're going straight from the video and you're not like looking at data mine material, it's a bit tough. I mean, there's one point it kind of looks like he turns left. So
Well, actually, I think if you watch the video, there's a point. It's at like 0.17 seconds into the video. There's a big blue, it's like cage thing almost, and the blue kind of clear graphics look like it does in PvP when you're behind the gate getting ready to go out into the match. Or
okay.
it looks like a penalty box to me.
interesting. And then, like I said, if you're looking at strictly just the video, it looks like at one point he turns left. So hopefully it is free form flight. No visible UI. There's no visible UI. No indication of the type of enemies they're actually fighting though from the video. It's really hard to tell whether they're players or AI, right?
Right. Right. Now, I mean, we kind of and the stuff that she's mentioning on Reddit has actually been on Reddit for quite some time. And so they've we've kind of just settled on the fact that this is going to be PvP. So I'm looking forward to that. I'd like to see what they can do, especially if it is in fact freeform. That does make me excited. I'm a little and not quite the X-wing versus TIE fighter kind of stuff, but it is definitely a step in the right direction.
Now, when you say freeform, I want to clarify because I know a lot of people are going to probably immediately start thinking about like jump to light speed, large, huge areas, or something like that. I don't think it's going to be that. That's my guess. It's going to be you're going to have basically like battlegrounds, war zones, whatever you want to call them, in space that are going to be like sectioned off. I don't think you're going to have like some massive amount of space to go start traveling and exploring the world whatsoever.
I agree. Yeah, I believe it's going to be set matches. In a specific zone, that you'll probably queue into, very similar to the way we do war zones currently.
Do you think
it also didn't look like they were attacking any of those large ships, which are probably capital ships or Sith Dreadnought or Republic. I don't know what their version is. So maybe it's objective based, which would be really awesome for PvPers who are upset that the objective-based war zones were being taken out of rank.
Yeah, I mean, that's the first time.
Maybe this will be a really nice compromise.
Is the internet already screaming capital ships, capital ships? I'm sure somebody's screaming guild capital ships because there are some pretty large ships.
Yeah. There's always going to be people screaming about guild capital ships. And in fact, I mean, Damien Schubert even said several times that he wants there to be guild capital ships, but I doubt we're going to see that out of the super secret space project. Sorry.
It looks like mostly fighter combat. It doesn't really. I don't think I saw them once shoot at any of the capital ships in the video.
Yeah, I didn't see that either.
Like, I was guessing that it was going to be a defense.
Right, and it did look like it was that they had some sort of. I'm assuming that floating ball thing was like a target practice kind of sort of thing. Maybe, I don't know. The thing that they have, like right at the very beginning, there's this floating ball that sits right here, as far as the screen is concerned, and it like moves and they get shot.
What's your gut telling you, Laura? PvP dogfighting, kind of like what we're thinking, smaller areas, or I don't want to say small, but
I think there's going to be some PvP dogfighting. Although from the very, very brief image that we got from the video, I'm going to go with I think that there is going to be objective. I think it's going to be objective based.
Objective based meaning what? Like you're gonna have to go
like defense of ships,
take
or
down
you're gonna
this
have
ship,
to go take something over, or destroy a base, like destroy a floating orbital station.
When do you think you'll actually see this in game? You think you'll actually see this year?
I'm gonna say probably not before Christmas. I would think maybe first of the year, like January, probably late January or February is going to be my guess.
You think expansion material?
There wasn't really enough in the video for me to say that it could be an expansion.
Yeah. Gosh, I hope it's not expansion. Maybe. I don't know. It is completely. I do foresee it being completely separate from the existing game, so I mean I can understand it being an expansion in the sense that Rise of Hutt Cartel was an expansion, not like Cataclysm kind of expansion, just like a almost like a DLC kind of
What was
thing.
what was the reaction to this, like from the community when they unveiled it and even on the internet?
People are crazy excited about it, especially the fact that it could be space combat that is not on rails. People are very, very excited.
Who do you think is most excited for something like this? Do you think? I mean, do you think this is going to bring back people who have left? Do you think I should be looking at it for PvP aspect, or does it just seem like another fun aspect of people who are playing the game right now?
I think that people that have left the game that wanted space combat originally, maybe looking for something similar to Star Wars Galaxy's Jump to Lightspeed, will probably at least come back to check it out, as long as it's not rails the way the space was when the game launched.
What about you, Larry? You're a Jump to Lightspeed fan. Is this what you're looking for?
I don't think it's going to be, if you're looking for JTL 2, if you will, it's not going to be that. I don't think it's going to be that. It might be a little more along the lines of what like the original TIE Fighter was, with maybe instead of being single player, it's multiplayer. I think it's going to be more along that line, where you go into these objective instances where you possibly there is PvP, PvE as well, with objectives. You go in there, you fight, you complete the objective, then you come back, you get accommodations for whatever, and you spend that on upgrading that particular ship. So I think it's going to be more along the lines of that, but in a third-person perspective.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how people take to this, because I mean, I don't know, open world space stuff, like especially when we call this super secret space thing. I guess I'm a little bit like underwhelmed as far as like, you know, a small battleground thing. I guess I always pictured if they were to do space, like freeform space combat, it would be more of like exploration as well, closer to what JTL was, as far as like a large piece of like, you know, space to kind of go out and conquer and check it out. But I don't know, it's gonna be pretty interesting. Great stuff for the cartel market, that's for sure. Ship upgrades and stuff like that. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure they could do tons of stuff. Especially with that black ship.
Win. Yeah.
Yeah. They have said at least in the Cantina tours that they had, that there will not be a buy to win anything anymore. I guess they learned their lesson from the first time they did that with the space new space stuff that they have put out whenever the cartel market first came out. So no buy to win.
How do you guys think that? How do you think they'll roll this out? Do you think they'll open this up to free to play players as well as subs and everything else, or do you think you have to buy a pass? Or
I think it's going to be a pass.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think so. I think they should open it up to everybody.
I think
you're probably going to have to pay maybe to download the content, because if this is really the super secret space project, like that's a lot of time and work going into it, and that's just not something that you're going to just give people in a regular update and call it 2.8. But I do think it should be open to everybody, because this is going to be really huge for getting people to come to try the game again or come back to the game.
what do you think, Lara?
I don't know. I think it's a perfect opportunity for them to try to make some more money. I mean, sure, I would love for them to just give it to everybody. That would be awesome. But I mean, when it comes down to it, the game does have to make money in order to survive, and I think that.
So you're going more towards like maybe some subscribers get the content and get to do everything and no holds barred. But if you're a free to play player, you're gonna have to buy like a voucher or something in the store to, like, you know, a match or X number of matches, something like that.
Something like that, or similar to the way Section X was, that you get you can either.
Oh no!
You know,
please no.
I mean, I don't know.
That was crappy.
I mean, haven't we just seen some of the restrictions kind of been lifted on stuff like that? They just started lifting some of those sort of more heavy bearing restrictions in the past couple of weeks.
They are, and I'm really glad they are. They're lifting the Warzone restrictions and that sort of thing, so that the base part of the game, the core of what the game is, and the core content that free to play players participate in they are actually, where free to play players are actually becoming content for the paying customers or for the paying players, and I like that. That means like opening up war zones. The flashpoints are already opened up, so where they can join that anytime. So I do like that, but I don't think that at this point in time that the space the super secret space content is going to even. It doesn't qualify for that. I think that's its own area, and I think they're going to charge for it.
Do you think they would do any sort of, like you're saying, the objective-based stuff? Do you think they might possibly do anything like where you can actually board some of those guild capital ships and then there's on-foot ground combat as well incorporated into it?
Oh my gosh!
I don't know, but that would be cool.
Yeah, they did finally do that in Galaxies towards the end, and it was really awesome. It was really, really awesome, and
Fet's Fet.
I'm sure. Yeah,
a backpack has jets. The vet had that. I mean, it doesn't I think SCO has a bunch of content like that as well, where you actually get to board stuff. That'd be kind of cool if they did that. Yeah, I don't know. So you guys think it's gonna be way off? You don't think we're gonna see it at all this year? You think it's gonna be a 20? Did they get pressed on this issue at all? Did people try and probe them to try and get like some sort of time frame out of them?
Yeah, people would try to ask them questions, and they just pretty much it just boils down to here's your video. That's all you're getting. Yep.
Here's your video. There it is. All right. So last week we were kind of taken back a little bit by the condescending attitude that the Q&A had. The community very much shared our feelings as well, and Eric Musco jumped and responded to a thread about their PR, and he said, I can assure you that it would never be our intent to post something where forum goers felt they were getting spoken down to in a condescending way. I felt the post they made on Friday was just an honest assessment of where our development team feels the class is. I apologize if that rubbed some folks the wrong way, since upsetting players with our post would never be our goal, especially since the point of the class reps was to begin a dialogue. We certainly don't want to jump that off on the wrong foot. Like I said prior, I think the timing and the way the post was handled could have been done better by us, and it was something we will be careful of moving forward. Certainly, I will take even more care with class rep top 3 responses in the future to ensure that there is even less room for someone to misunderstand what we are saying and take offense.
You mean they didn't mean you should line of sight and heal to full? Is that
not what they meant?
Is that what they're saying?
No?
They didn't mean that you have a perception problem.
Yeah, they did. Wow, that one was the be all end all when they said with the Vanguards that you have a perception problem. That one, yeah.
Do you think it was intentional though? I don't really feel like this was intentional. It's just I think it was poorly done, but there'd be no reason for them to want to kind of craft a post like that. It's just there's no reason for it to really be there. They don't want to piss any of the players off.
To be perfectly honest, I don't think that any of the answers were bad in the sense that as far as tone was concerned. I mean, when something is obvious to you, I mean, if you look at it from a developer perspective, it's obvious to the developers. Well, all you have to do is do this. I mean, how do you and you're not sure exactly why people don't see that it does come, no matter how you phrase it, it's going to come off a little condescending, even if you're the nicest person in the world. And so I mean, for instance, now you might not agree with them. So when the developers said that, Vanguards have the cooldowns that everybody else does, no matter how you said that, I mean, the developers are thinking that the Vanguards have everything that they need, yet the players don't, and so the developers coming back and saying, no, you have everything that you need. No matter how you phrase that, it's just not going to feel right because it's in disagreement with what your perception.
Do you think players want some sort of straight up honest talk though as well? Not really being spoken down to, but I think it could have been written better. But I think players really want some just straight up honest real talk and just not kind of dancing around stuff. What's the issue that Eric mentions here about the timing?
Well, he has said that part of the problem was they released all of the answers on a Friday. Exactly 1 week after they had gotten the questions. Mm-hmm. And he was out of the country for the German Cantina tour. And I guess, who's the other person? Courtney Woods had been just backed up with work, and it was Friday and was looking to go home, or, trying to get out of there, and they got the answers and they posted them up, and then everyone was gone, and there was nobody to kind of run interference with people's questions and outrage after they got put up.
So more of a nobody really got to proofread kind of thing and really look at this and do damage control. Not really anything to do with over the weekend. They dropped
the ball, and they should have admitted that. Yeah. I mean, I went back and I looked at the sniper questions and I looked at the sentinel questions, and they had submitted theirs on a Friday. And when BioWare gave their answers, it was on a Thursday. So they had all of a Thursday and a Friday to say, here's what we think. Let's get the dialogue going. If people have questions, we can clarify what we're saying. And then you come to Sork and Vanguard, and their questions are, thrown out there on a Friday, and then they take an extra day to answer them.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's nobody there. Now, I was talking about this in my guild, and somebody was arguing with me and saying, well, but they're busy and they have things to do. That's fine. I understand that. But if this is on your plate as a responsibility that you need to be taking care of, you have to budget your time to create these answers and to come up with something in a reasonable time frame if you know you're not going to be around. And I think that that's really irresponsible to say, oh, well, there was this other stuff going on. I get that. The community gets that.
The community doesn't care.
But that doesn't mean that they deserved to get snarky answers because you couldn't manage your time effectively.
I think it was mostly, as Laura alluded to, I think it was mostly not necessarily the answers that were the issue specifically, but rather that the community team and the people that could field the proceeding questions, the questions following those answers, there was nobody there to field those, and so basically the community, the players were just running rampant, and without anybody there to kind of intercede and say, no, wait, hold on, let me clarify this portion over here for you. There wasn't anybody there to do that. It was just the answers were thrown up, and then everybody was gone, and nobody was on no developers, no community team, nobody was from BioWare was on the forum, putting out flames.
What do you guys think of this? So what do you think? The quote in here, it says, quote, the point of the class reps was to begin a dialogue, close quote. Do you guys feel like that's really being achieved here?
After the first set of questions, I would have said absolutely. There was some really good discussion. We definitely talked about how the snipers wanted their questions. The devs asked them a question in return. That has sparked some good debate on the forums about, how they want to change Lay's target. And then we come to the Sork questions and the Vanguard questions, and all they got was snark. Yeah. And, you can argue, well, tone doesn't come across in writing, and sometimes you have to, maybe read things a couple of times. But me not playing these classes as my main character, I even went through and read the question, read the responses several times, and I said, that's just really rude. It's really rude. Like, I can understand why people are pissed off.
And wasn't one of the answers? Wasn't one of the answers at one point actually a question for the players? It actually ended with a question from the players, which is, or for the for the players.
Yeah.
One of the questions that actually ended at one time with a question for the players. I don't know, but then
something about the perception thing came from, when it was an assault specialist, or I think it was assault specialist. When this did more damage, you didn't have these concerns, so it's a perception issue.
Yeah, I think a lot of it was the difference between the 2 weeks answers. It was this last one was really got stonewalled as far as the developers are concerned. It's like, this is the way it is, and your way of from the player's perspective. Let me try that again. Player's perspective doesn't mean anything. It's basically, this is the way it is. Take it or leave it. And it wasn't really like Laura was alluding to, it wasn't really a dialogue. But that at the same time, at least from the sorcerer's questions, I think kind of kind of deserved that kind of answer a little bit. Not, I mean, I don't think that I don't think that it should have been a snarky, condescending kind of answer. But the question that was asked was basically, can we have more cooldowns on the Sork where we're more survivable? And when, at least from my perspective, and a lot of people that I know that play Sorks, they are one of the most survivable classes there is, and it was kind of a stretch as far as the question was concerned in the first place. And so I'm not sure exactly how the developers could have answered that question well, other than to say, "Oh yeah, you're right. We should totally make this class overpowered." I mean, that's, you know, that I really don't know how the devs could have answered that one well. So yeah.
Well, I don't know. How would you guys like to see BioWare kind of improve on this? I mean, PR wise, it kind of seems like this whole Q&A thing's getting a little bit spun out of control here, and it's not really working out awesome.
Well, I think if they need more time to answer, then they should maybe post and say, "Hey, thanks for the questions. We're going to need to take a little bit more time to really think about this." Or if the questions were terrible, then maybe they should have gone back to the rep and said, "These questions are really bad. Let's work with you to try to ask something else." Just more communication, and not sitting there telling people that they need to line of sight and heal the full. Like,
As the thing about the dialogue, though, like to create a dialogue, like, people don't want to wait weeks and weeks for answers. Like, they kind of want this to be on somewhat of a timely manner of a back and forth discussion. You don't want to like, "Oh, what were those questions that they just answered? I got to go back and read those again," because that was like, weeks ago. I guess I understand it's hard for them to possibly fit this into their schedule, but I almost feel like to make this actually work, they need to kind of be pretty consistent with it and kind of even tighten up the time frame as how long it takes to actually answer these questions.
I definitely think they need to be aware that they're going to have to be on the forum following the answers. So if they don't have time on a Friday when they put the answers out, they should do it on a Thursday so that they have Thursday and Friday in order to put out some fires and clarify some answers.
And I'm sure they're sitting back watching, just going like, "Are you guys crazy? Do you guys have any idea how hard we work and what we do for you guys? You guys are bitch and bone. I get it, but you guys are the ones who actually created the Q&A, not us." So it's like, if you're going to put it out there, you got to kind of handle it correctly and do it right, or don't do it at all. So that's my take on it. I don't know. So we got a ton of screenshots here to go over. First, I want to tell you guys about a great deal we got going on with Audible. Want to hook you guys up and let you try Audible free, absolutely free for 30 days, and get a free audio book. I know if you guys have been watching the show for a while, we talk a lot about the Star Wars books here on the Republic, but I want to turn you guys onto something else. It's a book called Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. Let me play a little sample here.
If she went to school here on Ludus, but she continued to talk faster and faster, as if a floodgate had opened in her brain. The words just poured out of her. She was barely pausing to breathe. And I came here tonight thinking this would be the night I finally beat that bastard and get the copper key. But when I got here, I saw that someone had already uncovered the entrance. So I realized my worst fear had finally come true. Someone else had found the tomb. So I ran all the way down here, totally freaking out. I mean, I wasn't too worried because I didn't think anyone could possibly beat a Sararak on their first try, but still... She paused to take a deep breath and stopped abruptly. "Sorry," she said a second later. "I tend to ramble when I'm nervous or excited. And right now, I'm sort of both, because I've been dying to talk to someone about all of this, but obviously I couldn't tell a soul, right? You can't just mention in casual conversation that you..." She cut herself off again. "Man, I'm such a motor mouth, a jabberjaw, a flibbertigibbet." She mimed zipping her lips, locking them and tossing away the imaginary key. Without thinking, I mimed grabbing the key out of the air and unlocking her lips. This made her laugh, an honest, genuine laugh. That involved a fair amount of snorting, which made me laugh too.
There's a great scene. This book is just so awesome. I can't even describe to you how much of a fun, wild ride this is. If you guys haven't checked it out, Ready Player One by Ernest Cline, narrated by Will Wheaton. MMO players especially will absolutely love this book. There's so many great pop culture references. They're in virtual worlds. They're playing video games. Like it's just such an awesome ride. Check it out. Go over, use audible.com/gamebreaker. Got to use that URL, and going to hook you guys up with a free 30-day trial for Audible and get a free audiobook. So go sign up, download the app on your iOS device or your Android or your iPad, whatever you got, whatever you want to listen to, and get to downloading today. Just audible.com/gamebreaker. All right, so I've got a ton of screenshots to kind of blaze through here. The latest armor. This is the 2.4 Oberon. Is that Oberon? Is that how you said Oberon? You're sure? You're like sure?
Oberon? I don't know, honestly. Oberon?
I'm glad I'm not the only one. All right.
Yeah, you're not the only one.
So I'm gonna just jump in here. I'm gonna give me some thoughts on some of this stuff. I'm gonna start blazing through it. So this is the Inquisitor armor.
There's wings.
There
you
are
can fly
wings.
away.
That's right.
Line of sight and kill the bull.
What do you guys think of this whole look, though? I guess they all kind of fit. That's really weird looking.
Yeah, which one is that one?
This is the warrior.
Warrior one.
Warrior. Yeah.
It's all. I mean.
I think they're really, really ugly.
Like, we haven't even gotten to the next set, Laura.
Ugly.
Laura, we haven't even gotten to the next set. It's the City of Heroes pack, I think. Yeah, I'm not really sure where this is coming from. Like, I'm trying to find. I got to be honest.
It kind of looks like the Dreadmasters. Because remember, we looked at that picture of what they look like in Oricon, and it's sort of thematic to that. But I'm sorry, whoever designed this, these are really ugly.
They are not good.
I mean, I'll be honest. And you guys are both pretty big Star Wars. I know Larry's a huge Star Wars fan. I mean, you have a Star Wars cookbook, so you're a pretty big Star Wars fan as well, obviously. Do you really, do you honestly feel like, do you really feel like these are like Star Wars inspired? Because I don't see it. I personally don't. No. I'm not going to claim to be as hardcore as you guys, but can I pretty much put money down now that all the art assets are just coming out of like a sweatshop somewhere where like there's just. I'm not kidding.
I don't know.
I doubt artwork is being made at the BioWare offices here. I almost would put money on the fact that this stuff is just being pumped out of like China or Japan or some other country. Probably there's companies out there that's all they do. They just crank artwork out, and they're amazing artists. But I don't feel like any of this, I don't feel like the Star Wars is coming out in any of this stuff.
Did you see the ones for PvE?
Oh,
the yellow and red?
We're getting to that. I'm not done. I've got many more. I just have to stop now and talk about this. Because I just don't see the Star Wars in it. Like, this doesn't look like a Star Wars game to me.
The inspiration of it, obviously, as Laura said, is the Dreadmasters. And the Dreadmasters look is very similar to that, at least as far as the helmets are concerned. But I just, like you said, it doesn't. It fits those characters. It fits those bad guys that are in the universe, but it doesn't fit the player character. It is kind of bad as far as that's concerned, and I'm disappointed in it as well. In fact, I mean, really, other than, and we had somebody in our guild chat complaining about it as well, that a lot of the best armor that's coming out now, and some of the ones with the most Star Wars-y feel, are the ones that are in the cartel packs now, and not the ones that you actually get by doing gameplay.
Shocking.
It's disappointing. It was disappointing to him. I'm not sure exactly where I feel about it, where I sit with it, because I mean, I understand that everything that you get in the cartel pack ultimately ends up on the GTN anyway, and that's fine by me. But I can at least sympathize with his feeling that, you know what, it's kind of crappy that all the best Star Wars-y feel armor is coming out in the cartel packs.
This doesn't scream awesome Star Wars to you, Larry? Really? Look at
this. Oh God, please! It's Paladin Tier 1. I don't want to be a yellow banana again. That is exactly what I thought as soon as I saw that. I was like, oh God, Paladin Tier 1.
Oh, but this one's so much better.
Fuck my life. Oh yeah, and more
Go,
crotch
go
flaps.
Power Rangers. Exactly.
I guess.
Exactly.
At least she's got, I don't know, easy access. This is so bad. This is so bad.
Normally I can find a redeeming piece, like I'll like the boots, or I'll like the gloves, or maybe the chest piece. I don't find anything redeeming about any of these sets of armor.
Right.
I'm so glad. I was afraid because I was hoping. I'm
And
so
they're
glad
all
that you guys
ripped
agree
for
with me
pleasure.
because I looked through them and I feel.
There was only one piece that was okay. Actually, like the gloves on that one are okay. There was another green
It's like
one.
praying
that had
mantis hands, like praying mantis
Yeah.
gloves.
Well, like I said, they're okay. They just those by themselves would be all right. There's another one that had like a hood on it that was okay as well. I forget which one that one was. I think it was like the.
Look at those boots. Does this not look like
Yeah.
City of Heroes? Like there's like all of a sudden like Marvel heroes like flying across like landscapes with like rocket boots and shit.
It does.
No,
Yeah,
the little wings should flutter
that's right.
and fly.
That's right.
Wow.
It just looks very square.
Wow.
There's no shape to it.
It's trash. It's trash. It's like it's
That-
like
Now that is cool.
I'll get some of those are okay.
Okay.
Yeah. But those armors are just trash. They're just trash. They're like throwaways. It's like hire some kid at like university going to like art school students I've seen do better stuff and would probably do much better Star Wars stuff. There's no inspiration from Star Wars from any of that. I don't see it any of it. It doesn't come out at all.
They should have like more techie kind of stuff hanging off of that. That's very, that's fantasy armor. That's stuff that you find in a fantasy game. That kind of stuff right there.
Bad fantasy
Possibly a bad fantasy game, but yeah, it needs to have.
All right, now the new HK model, that looks awesome.
It's kind of cool. This is customization for HK47. This is definitely, this is passable for sure. I wouldn't say it's amazing, but it's much. When you get that other shit, yeah, this is amazing. I guess, yeah. I guess when you dealt that hand, this is pretty awesome.
It's pretty good. Yeah, I like one of the other ones. The HK thing's better. The one with the bounty hunter that has the scarf on it and the yeah.
All right, now this one I don't think is terrible.
No, it's not. The dread.
Minus the backpack.
Yeah, the
And not
backpack's
have
a little.
giant backpack.
Yeah, that looks a little funky, but I agree from the front. Like it feels like Star Wars. Like you could see that going
Yes.
on. Like that feels a bit like
It looks like a dark stormtrooper.
Yeah.
Darth Dracula.
Whoa, ha, ha, ha. Or with mouse ears, one or the other. I can't tell.
Darth Mickey Mouse.
She's ready for the fetish ball. She definitely is ready.
There you go.
And then just this is the
dye.
black and deep red dye
Black and red.
module.
Yep.
Colors people actually want at least, but that's good.
I know, that's awesome. I am so good. And that's a schematic too, by the way. That means that players will be able to make them. I will be making them on my server. Buy them from me.
It's a good color combo, that's for sure.
Mhm.
What is this? This is the Strike Force Tauntaun.
Armored Tauntaun. Actually, I really do like that Tauntaun.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I mean, I'm not sure
Yeah, it
about the
looks
leather
pretty
pants, but
Yeah.
look at those horns.
It's got leather chaps.
It's obviously pretty old.
It's got chaps on.
It's got chaps on. It's got some nice protection on the front end there to get fired at. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like I'd be really bummed about that armor. It's just kind of like I don't know.
If they have time, seriously, they need to go back to the drawing board on that armor.
They need new artists.
again.
They need new artists.
Try again.
Laura Williams, follow her on Twitter at VoidMynx, VoidMynx, and she can be found right here every Monday at 6 PDT on Z Republic. Sorry if I'm the curmudgeon negative Nancy about Star Wars. It just makes me angry. I grew up on Star Wars. Like I'm not like a crazy Star Wars freak, but like man, like you can easily feel when stuff feels like Star Wars or not, and it's like it's so off the rails. All right, Larry. Follow on Twitter at Shadow, SHADDOE, and go over to massively.com and make sure to read the Hyperspace Beacon. What are you covering this week?
Today I finished up the free-to-play experiment and gave my overall impressions of everything.
So we'll give time.
Check that out.
So I think we'll give people time to read that. Maybe we could do a recap next week and you let us know how you feel.
Sure.
Awesome. We do the show live every Monday at 6 PDTs. Come on over for the live show. Always a good time. And we'll be back next week for some more Republic. Have a great week. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next week.